This video is for the task 3 to analyze collaboratively how we addressed the case studies presented in the activity guide. So, to start, it is important to present which case study we selected. In this case, personally, I selected the first case study. This case study is centered or is called communication breakdown, and it presents mainly three challenges that explore how a school is facing a teacher morale and enthusiasm and performance issues. And mainly the case study states that it is because of communication, because teachers feel they are not being heard and they are not given with the guidance they require to perform regarding how the school considers an adequate teacher practice or performance. In this case, when considering the case study, I firstly thought about democratic leadership because this leadership style is centered on communication, how through effective interaction between team members of an organization, in this case a school, can provide with a sense of collaboration among the participants. But when considering or going beyond in the problems presented in the case study, I was thinking about how the transformational leadership style could be also significant to solve this problem, because I saw it was not only something related to felt or feeling unheard in the case of teachers, but also a significant problem related to how they felt they didn't belong to the school, because as they did not have the opportunities to provide their opinions on how the school works or how the activities or the tasks are done. It could be related to like the turnover rates, and the teachers' enthusiasm could be related to that problem, feeling they have no significant contributions to the school. In this sense, I selected or I joined both leadership styles, considering they share significant characteristics. While doing research, I found that it is considered that the transformational leadership style is democratic. So, considering also it is democratic, I would say I created the leadership style democratic transformational. So transformational democratic. In this case, this I selected this leadership style because it can contribute not only to teachers and um, admit the administration from the school to feel engaged in meaningful communication and interaction, sorry, but they can also start to collaboratively uh, discuss how to um, build a really meaningful interaction or relationship between them, so they can know how both can contribute to an excellent service provided by the school. In this case, the school administration could provide teachers with ideas or the guidance they require to know how to perform as teachers. And also, teachers will be able to provide ideas on how they consider they could contribute to the school service when providing excellent teaching practices. In this sense, the educational manager, in this case, that will be the school director, could provide um, the administration from the school and teachers with opportunities to share ideas, to share their opinions on um, how they can establish like clear policies on how they can or how they must behave at school, which kind of activities they they can foster or should foster at classes, how they should evaluate students, how they should prepare or plan their classes, which kind of dynamic activities they could implement on all these kind of aspects they should consider. It will not only provide teachers with the opportunity to feel that they belong to the school, but also will provide the school with more opportunities to enhance the processes that are developed. Because if, like in the when the group participates with all when all the team members participate effectively providing proposals, it is possible to identify the best ones. So that was my analysis, like briefly considering what all I thought about it. That was what my analysis. So now, dear Sarai, could you share your analysis?
Of course, thank you. I'm Sarai. I will start with the case that I select, number 3, about studying behavior issues. This case presents a problematic that we can find disrupts to behavior among students, affecting the overall classroom environment, and also teachers are struggling to manage unruly behaviors. So this is like as a consequence leading to a negative impact on the learning experience for all the students. And with this problematic, we can find some challenge in the classrooms about disruptions, teacher burnout, declining students' academic performance. That is the points more important, that is like affect in the classroom. And the reason is because I think that student behavior is a factor that greatly influence learning process. And as a teacher in train, I recognize that the development of a skill allowed leadership is needed, and from a grow mentally and a strange of relationship, leadership and relationship in the classroom in this case. And this is why I think that is the best options case for transformational leadership as I choose, and I share like with my friends, my partner, Nylan. So let's continue with the next case and partner. That is case number 4.
Yes, that's my case. Hi, my name is Mayerlin Padilla, and the case of study that I choose was technology integration. And this case of study describes an institutional situation that involves students and teachers. Talking about the problems that the school is facing, or that talk in the case of study is about lagging and integration of technology for the part of the teachers. So the cause in this situation is affecting students because they behind getting some benefits from that educational advance. So the teachers are refusing to integrate technology in their class, in the curriculum, and they just are in a bad step in their class. So I was thinking about which leadership style will help to resolve the situation. So I choose. Oh, I forgot about it. I choose constructive leadership style because when I read about, I found out is a leadership style that allow the director of the school to show a better leadership to their staff, the people that work in that place. So this type of leadership style allows teacher to talk about it, to make a better communication, because I think that are some ideas that are not heard. Because if you have in a school personnel that maybe they old and they like set in traditional education, they always refuse to integrate new technologies. So this type of leaderships allow flexibility in the opinion, and they allow the persons to share their thoughts, their ideas. Maybe they are afraid, and maybe they don't know to how integrate technology, and furthermore, they don't know about the new technologies and innovation in education. So this type of leadership encourage teachers also to talk about why their feelings, why are their thoughts, and why they are so resilient to face new change in order to improve the education, and in order to improve also the teachers, because this is not about the teachers, but this is about the students. So I think these types of leadership will help a lot to resolve the problem in the school, in that case that I choose.
Hello, my name is Daniela Diaz. So it's my time to mention the case to the study I choose. I decided to choose the fifth case study called Inclusive Education. The problematic in this case study is that the school present labs to implement effective approaches to promote inclusive education, considering they have students with diverse learning needs. So this lack of the deficit on a comprehensive approach to inclusive education have resolved that students are receiving adequate support, and there are presenting challenges in their academic and social development. So considering this problem, I decided to choose the transformational leadership as the potential leadership to apply in this situation, considering its characteristics and objectives. So, first of all, the transformational leadership is characterized by foster teamwork between teacher and leader. And in this case, the leader will be the school director. So this collaborative work will result in a more comprehensive understanding of the need the school are facing related to the student needs, learning needs. Also, it will contribute to implement an effective strategy that address the problem that the school are facing. Secondly, this leadership style uh, is characterized also to encourage socialization among peers. This space helps to the effectively development or strategy that engage with the young with the needs that the school are presenting, because a teacher and a school director can develop and improve the knowledge and skill, and also they can monitor the effectiveness of the established strategy. Um, in other words, this space socialization will contribute for the improvement of the strategy that they think they could solve the problem. The true reason I decided to choose this leadership style is that this leadership style aims to start from the need to establish actions. This helps the student learning grow out. So In this sense, teacher and school directors could use their knowledge, skill, ability, and attitude to research, promote, and establish the most effective comprehensive approach to solve the school needs. And lastly, in the transformational literature side, it's necessary to work with transversal values. These allows for generating the effective transformation on the institution needs. So in conclusion, considering the characteristics and objectives of this literature style, I consider that the school could implement that effective comprehensive approach of inclusion education to meet student learning needs. So now, after sharing with you my analysis of the case study, let's continue discussing how the different leadership may be effective in different educational management scenarios. So Nangle, would you like to start?
Yes, thank you. So considering what has been said during this analysis, collaborative analysis, I think we all can conclude that leadership styles can be adapted to or can adapt to their needs of the school or the characteristics. So even when the situations are not similar or share no similarities, the same leadership style can be effective, which is the case of Sarai in my case study and the case study of Daniela, and also the case study presented by Meyerly. They all the leadership styles share the idea that communication is important and participation and engagement. So considering that, it could be said that even in one situation, different leadership styles can be effective. It's just that when selecting the leadership style, it is important to consider which is the main issue that is trying to be faced in this case. So if, for example, is a case like related to the case study I selected, which is related to communication, it is important to select or to implement a leadership style that is based on communication, even though all or almost all the leadership styles are related to communication, which the one that is actually not related to communication, I think, is the autocratic one, which is the one that the leader is the one who makes the decisions. But in general, the all leadership styles share value communication. In this case, which is important, is that the educational manager identify the specific needs of the scenario. Um, to select the perfect leadership style that can help all the participants engage or interact in the case that is needed to improve the situation. So that's my thinking on that aspect. I don't know what do you think about leadership styles, DL Sarai?
Okay, I think leadership is really important in every organization. We are doing an emphasis in education, so I think the participation of the actor involvement in education is necessary because they are development skills that help them to improve in the aspects required to achieve the objectives set. And being a guide in a mind of educational management involves establishing visions and goals that reflect the desire to support learning in the academic environment and of the different areas of the institution. And having an influence is not uh, easy task. Therefore, the role of leader must be assumed with responsibility for take care and be a guide for students and teachers and administrators and the educational community in general. So I think leadership styles will help educational centers ensure the teaching and learning of students from the management in this position in the institution. So I share with you, Nailen, that you say about the leadership are like a complement. I think everyone is really important and have something to bring in the institutional management. So I want to share with you also a pro and contras that I have about the constructivist leadership. I think my partner Mayerlin chose and is that a constructive leader motivates others to improve their own abilities, and it's something that also the transformationals do. So I think it's like and agree it's working together to achieve solutions that benefits everyone. And I want to say a contrast that I don't see it like negative way, but uh, maybe it's like a way that constructive leadership works, and it's that don't focus don't focus in on results like not important too much. It's more about the process. So however, I think that if we are doing um, something for be a leader and build something in the educational environment, of course result matters, and this is like my point of view between the transformational and constructive leadership. So maybe Marilyn wanna continue about this discussion.
Yes, yes. I was reviewing your your case about the behavior of the students, and I think that you choose wisely, choosing transformational leadership style as leadership style that could resolve the situation that your case are facing. So I like transformational leader style because it's focused on providing support, encouragement to others, and the teachers and staff and the students are involved, and they work like collaboratively, and they are like they construct a relationship, and that's what leads transformational leaders type to encourage students to make their efforts, and also make an effort as teachers to make class engagements for them in order they are feel in a safe environment in class. I don't think that is something wrong about the transformational leadership side. I think is this is a better way to improve behavior of the students. I face this type of situation in class, and I think this is the better way to improve students to encouragement to get better grades and others. But I think in a long term it's like draining too much because you need to create a lot of strategies in order to improve the students like emotionally, and we think about in class, but at home maybe the situation is different. Maybe there is something at home that is the cause of that behavior, but as teachers we focus only in class, and as teachers we do an effort to help the student, yes, to concentrate in class, to help them to fix their manners. But as teachers, and we do too much in like planning in the classes with students and involving in that situation. I think is like it's a little bit exhausting to always make activities and plan and how how I need to do with this student, how I need to do with this student, what strategy do I need to make, because every student is different and every case is different. But it's not a bad thing, but it's something that I analyze because I face the same situation in my work. So that's all I need to talk about the transformational leadership. I don't know if the my partner Daniela has something to say to complement other leadership styles.
Okay, yes, guys. Well, before to mention what I think of the pros and cons of one of your leadership style, I want to complement what Nylene say about the effectiveness of the leadership styles in different educational management scenarios. So, as you mentioned before, guys, of course, this leadership style, style, um, they have a interesting aspect that they have specific characteristics and objectives that can be adapted to different situations, as we can see in our case study. So an effective leader will be able to identify and recognize all these characteristics that offers each leadership style and adapt it to develop and implement a specific and effective strategy that can solve a situation. We have different case study, but three of us decide to implement the same leadership style, transformational style, to solve our situation. Because although they are on another, we consider that with this we can adapt to our context, to our problematic. But also it's interesting to see how using another one. Leadership style, we can solve a specific situation like Mayerling do. So leadership style can be adapted for the leader. There isn't something important according to the need, according to the problematic that he identify in the organization, and establishing working alone or working with peer, because sometimes it will be necessary that the leader will be authoritarian in some situations. So it could be decide which leisure style will be the better to solve a specific problematic and guarantee and keep the quality of the service that the organization offers to the community. So this is what I think about how leadership may be effective educational management scenario. Talking now specifically about the leadership style chosen by Nalene, considering his context, considering his problematic, I think that these two leadership will be effective for his problem. In the one hand, the transformational leadership promotes teamwork between leaders and teachers. So it will be easy for them, or in this situation, create and establish this teamwork, this socialization space in which teacher could be feel heard by the administration school. On the other hand, the democratic leadership style uh, is focused also in communication, but also to help how the member of the organization feel valued and feel heard. So using these two leadership, in this case, she could be able to establish and implement different strategies that promote communication between how the leader and the teacher of this organization. So I think that in some scenarios it's not be necessary just to choose one leadership style. We can use two or more leadership style because they offer different things and we can adapt to our problematic. So I don't have any incomes for this leadership style in this case.
Yeah, I just mentioned
So
what
I don't
I
know,
think
Nadine, if
about in
you
general. Yeah, but now considering in this case the case study
okay.
of Daniela and how she addressed the situation, I think it was really good. Personally, in terms of inclusive education, it is important to everyone to take care. It's not just like a responsibility of one individual, or it may be the course director or one teacher. No, it's a responsibility of everyone because all teachers and even the administrators take part in how they contribute to students learning, because not only a teacher in the classroom can provide students with significant aids to learn something important, not only a subject but also abilities for life, like life abilities, life skills. So in this case, considering your case study is presenting that teachers are not aware on how to promote inclusive education, it is important, as you mentioned, that everyone is involved. Firstly, in this case, the ones who have more ideas on how to address inclusive education could provide the others with key points, guidance, ideas, strategies for them to apply. But it's important for every teacher to consider these strategies and implement them because they know their students. If they are the leader of their group, maybe they can identify, well, this student has little attention spans, so it is important for him to be provided with significant activities. But this student is can be really concentrated but gets tired really easily, so the activities need to be short. So it isn't like, if teachers know their students, they can identify which strategies are can be effective for them. So the transformational leadership could be effective in this case as you selected, because it can provide a collaboration, which is important, and not only collaboration but impact the school, because I think the objective of the transformational leadership style is to shift how things are perceived. So in this case, the school maybe manage education in general overall without considering diversity in students, like providing only instruction related to subjects, math, science, English. But now, considering the students' needs and how they require specific teaching strategies or teaching methods, it will be it will be possible to shift the focus of the school, to shift how they perceive or teachers, how teachers perceive their role at school. So yeah, in general, I consider your selection was really really good, because in that way the school could focus on providing a really really meaningful teaching process for students. So it was, I have no negative comments, because yes, the transformational leadership is like the best one because it can be adapted to any situation. Yes, now it will be the time for us to talk about the details, right? Like the solutions we could build considering this leadership style we selected. So as I am the first one, I selected the transformational and democratic leadership style. I consider it important for teachers to be heard. Like they need to be aware that the school administration is listening to them. And one of the ideas I thought for them to feel heard is to implement maybe surveys, suggestion boxes, or meetings. So in this case, if it is necessary to make an important decision, the school administration could organize a meeting or provide students with a survey or yes, for them to provide their ideas. So ask, what do you think that could be done in this situation? How can we address students' behavior, for example, considering these aspects? Or in general, keep suggestion boxes around the school or maybe in the school principal office for him to read what the teachers think about what is being done. For example, in one situation, maybe a teacher could have identified that how punishments because of behavior are used, like could be identified that is not appropriate. He could write a suggestion and and oh my god, I forgot how to say it. Like to place this suggestion in the suggestion boxes for the school principal to know what they think about how things are managed at the school. It could be also important for teachers and the school administration to meet constantly, to have meetings, so they can talk about what is has been doing or how they have been teaching, how they have been managing student behavior, how they have been managing parents' queries, these all things to see if everything is being done correctly, if there is necessary to take action in a specific situation because it is getting out of hand maybe, or if it could be possible for a teacher to provide an idea regarding a situation that is perceived actually, it could be really, really significant. Also, a way to engage all teachers in participating in addressing specific situations is organizing committees, like a discipline or curriculum committee for them to engage in the activity they like more. For example, there are teachers who have a really authority figure, maybe, and they know how to manage behavior. They could create a committee related to behavior on how to provide students with rules, with ideas on how to behave better and when they are at school, or like listening to the teacher when in during classes, or in the case of teachers who are like experts in organizing or planning teaching, it will be effective to create a curriculum committee so they can continuously enhance how subjects are taught or how learning is addressed at the school. And another important aspect that I consider when like proposing solutions or a specific yes solution to the problem is allowing teachers to create or propose educational projects. It is important for teachers to feel they can employ their creativity and like their autonomy to know how to solve some problems or how to contribute to the organization, in this case, the school. So, in this sense, maybe they consider it is important if they perceive, for example, that students have a tendency to like artistic activities, maybe the art teacher could propose a project related to engaging students in art activities but related to another subject, maybe English. Relate English classes with art projects so students feel more motivated to participate in English class. Maybe it could be possible, but it is like it could only be possible if teachers are provided with the autonomy to use their creativity. That's why I consider it is important for the school administration to state, to inform teachers about these opportunities they have. In general, I think these strategies could provide teachers with the motivation they require to feel they are like they belong to the organization. They could feel they are valued at the school, their activities, their performance, what they can bring is important. So the turnover rates could be like um could decrease in this case. So teacher will feel like I am being valued here. So I want to continue working here. I want to continue providing my ideas to make the teaching process at this school better. So yes, in general, I think these strategies will foster a great performance from teachers, and also it will enhance or foster a better communication among or between the school administration and teachers in general. So that's my idea on how to solve the problem, following some kind of steps. But in the case of your case study, dear Sarai, what do you think?
Okay, talking from my case study, I want to think first, to arrive to the solution that disruptive behavior are usually a problem that for the advancement of teacher learning process and in the classroom is like a step back. So facing this challenge is not only like affect to teacher works but also the academic well-being of students. So they are a factor that is considered as causes of social behaviors. Some come from family situation with psychopathological problems that come from the parents or violence or emotional deficiency. Also social factors like hang membership or drugs, social situation, class, and this is like the main causes about these kind of disruptors in the students. So I think in classroom we can take experience that us can see from different point of view uh, between the teacher and the students. So it's like really important why we can't improve to these guidelines to be very helpful to relax the classroom environment and reduce this type of disruptive behavior. And I think the transformational leadership would be great to help to teacher and create strategies to bring this in positive way to help the classroom environment. And I think a solution an important step is to understand the needs of students living aside like challenge or facing attitude and making the rules and consequence like of not complaints visible and remembering the and like to remember to the students and providing dynamic classes constantly that change activities and trying to meet the experience situation and set through the activities in classes. So this is like my point of view that how leadership and solution can work for this uh, case. So my partner Majerlin maybe can share with us his solution for the case.
Yes. So I thought about how to write an idea to in order to resolve the problematic. I think that there's a lot of things to do about this case. So because the main goal is benefits students and teachers, but I think the problem starts with the teachers. So this type of leadership that I choose are flexible and open to change. So the first idea that I think about resolving these problematics is encourage dialogue. because in this leadership, it's easy to share ideas. I think the principal take the lead role in every meeting that involves teachers and personnel of the school. So encourage dialogue. I think it's important. It's important to encourage teachers to speak why they think about it. Why are they so negative to include technology in their classes? And it's like change honest thoughts, honest ideas about this problem, and also not only speaking, not only share ideas and talks, um, but the main goal of this dialogue is reaching to a solution about the problem, is create like sharing ideas and also sharing responsibility, because teacher has a huge responsibility in class, and they are like wrestling to make change in their classes, in their curriculum, and they in this behavior of the teachers are affecting students. So like Nailen mentioned before, it's important to know about teach students needs, and technology is one of them, and other is facilitate learning. It's possible that teachers don't know and how to manage technologies, and even create a curriculum, and even create um, original material that can help to improve their classes. So maybe they don't know. So it's important that the school create meetings, courses, and engage teachers to keep learning, because teachers need to keep learning, and technology is one of the things that as teachers we need to not uh, see the technology as an enemy, but as an ally. There's a ton of tools and materials and so much things that teachers can include in their classes to improve their classes and also make engage the students. So I think facilitate learning can help to improve the teacher skills in technology, and also encourage them to change, to move forward, because technology is everywhere, in their phones and in the stores, and everything that we see in our daily life is about technology and new challenge in facing new technologies advance. So I think this is important because in educational environment we see that the people talk about educational behavior, they talk about safety in classes, they talk about the infrastructure, but it's important that if the teacher is the school take the way to facilitate learning, and in teachers they also need to buy tools, buy items that the teachers can use in order to involve that technology in their classes and help the students to develop those skills. So I would like to hear about Daniela, about the ideas or the things that she create or write about resolving the problematic of the case she chooses.
Yes, of course. Well, I established like a step, can I say that? Thinking like is I was the school director of this school, of the case study. So as they are presenting class or implementing a comprehensive approach for promote inclusive education, the first step that I think that it could be effective is combined meetings, an initial meeting in which teachers socialize and describe the learning needs and challenge they have observed in their student in order to have a wide point of view of what is exactly the problem that the school are facing. Also, I think that it will be useful to invite experts in inclusive education to provide training on inclusive education, because maybe um, this less difficult teacher and even though the director of school haven't know enough about how to promote effectively inclusive education. So here will be necessary the participation of teacher to keep training in this topic. So then I think that it would be useful to also recite training on how to assist a student with diagnosis, physical, mental, cognitive, or behavioral disability that impair the learning and socialization ability that is related to their learning needs. Also, it will be effective, I think, create some commitments by area in which each group of teachers will have to research and propose a comprehensive approach to inclusive education, but considering their area that I teach and the student they teach. In this way, the approach that the school decide to implement will be more effective, because if we considering the characteristics of the student as also the characteristics of teaching, teacher teaching. Um, Also, I think that it will be useful to provide more details about the different uh, approach to inclusive education that best suits the institution needs and goals. And also, I think that it will be necessary to create some socialization meeting to monitoring how the teacher are working, what are the results they have been seeing implementing the teaching strategy and the approach established. In that way, identify strength, lacks, weakness to improvement. So, hold my state. I'm very focused on creating work, because the idea that the leader or the school director work with teacher and teacher work together to establish the idea solution for the problem, and also how this step. Um, I'm very focused on creating spaces of socialization to her or teacher, host teacher, and to develop all the knowledge, ability, and skill for the better implementation of the solve of this problematic. So as the final step, as I mentioned before, I will call a meeting to evaluate the impact and effectiveness of the proposed comprehensive inclusive education approach to identify area for improvement, um, guaranteed that student learning needs are already met. So this is where I decide to how I decide to solve the problem using the leadership choosing. So now I would like, guys, that we share what we think about this soil that we are planting for our case study. Well, I would like to start with the Nailen case study. I heard their solution, and I think it will be effective for the case study. It was interesting because she's not focused just to implement activities or strategies in which the administration school just listened to her teacher, but she also focused on develop activities and give teachers responsibility, that it will be help for them to feel not just heard, but also valued, because they are gonna feel that the administration at school uh, are confident in them. They are sure that they can do a really good job in the different areas they make they consider the teacher could work. Also, it was interesting that she also established a strategy between teacher communication. Although the case study doesn't mention that there is a breakdown between teachers, it's important that to foster, as a leader, to foster teacher communication, teacher teamwork, because uh, we learned and we grew out professional as a teacher from other teachers. And I think that that were a really good solution for your case study. I don't
Yes.
know.
Yes, I considering also Daniela's case study. When I read your case study, I thought it was really, really good. And the like including an expert in inclusive education was significant because normally we as teachers know how to manage some kind of normal behaviors, as maybe one student is trying to disturb the class, or maybe one student or some students don't want to participate in a specific class. But when it comes to physical, mental, or behavioral like disabilities, which are like diagnosed by doctors, it is important to know how they work. For example, for a teacher, it would be impossible to take care of the learning of an autism student if she or he doesn't know what autism is or what it involves. So it is important to include the participation of someone who knows how to work with this kind of disabilities. So teachers could be provided with ideas, strategies. So, for example, they can say, well, a student who face ADH needs to move. It is important for them to move. Don't organize activities that are important to be doing when being sitting down, but allow them to move around the classroom maybe. So that teacher could have an idea, oh, maybe I can do um PH or physical response activity to engage students in interactive tasks maybe. So knowing how these kind of disabilities are and how they affect a students thinking, behavior, and actions in general could help teachers to identify how to address teaching. And also it could be significant, as you mentioned, not like individually. Each teacher um, um, is like has a meeting with the spirit and the school director, but the whole like school committee, I would say, is interested on hearing, listening to others. So maybe one teacher is not aware that a student is facing a disability because it's not possible to identify easily, but when listening to another teacher mentioning a similar case for a student, it will be possible for that teacher to know, oh, my dear student Adriana, for example, is facing this disability. So it is important for me to take care of her, even if I thought she was okay. So it is important for them to share or engage in solving the problem and identifying how they all could contribute to the school. And it is also important for them all to meet together, because one teacher is not the only one who teaches a classroom. We share the whole school, I would say. The English teacher is not the only one teaching, for example, the ninth grade. all teachers go to ninth grade and teach them science, teach them math, teach them English. So it is important for them to know which students have difficulties or disabilities that need to be taken care of. So yeah, in general, I don't have negative comments about your proposal or your steps, because they are really really comprehensive. Like you do consider every aspect from the beginning to the end, so it was perfect. I don't know what Sarai think about the case study that Mayerlin shared, or the proposal she shared.
Okay, specifically with Majorly, I think that your case study choosing, I would like to highlight the important technology in educational management, since the change in this case, like the actual world, it's important to, as a teacher, to adapt and to be prepared to any circumstance and be trained to provide the knowledge, and that the learning process required during different strategies and tools, which in this case is about your technologies. And also for Nyland, I would like to say that communication in your case, it's really important for the correct functional of relationship within educational communities, since there are situations where interaction is needed, and one of the way to encourage a student participate is through activities and works that need to be done as a group. I think that can be like observation or a point to add or to result to highlight, because you already talk about it. And about Daniela, this case is really important to analyze science in educational management. It must be ensured that all the students have the opportunity to adhere optimal technician learning process, and based on needs, they require, of course, in this case, inclusion that you were talking about, providing various ways to proceedings in educational institutions through optimal training of us as a teacher and educational actors in general. So it's my point of view of every case. So now let's continue with my partner Majerlin.
Okay, yes. Well, about your case, Sarai, I would like to say, like I said before, this case is important. Is a case that I think all teachers face in their classroom. And like you say, there may be are different factors that are involved in the behavior of the students. It could be a family, it could be maybe a psychological problem, it could be by violence. I would like to say that you point and a strategy is about providing dynamic classes and constantly changing and activities. And I want to talk about a personal case. It's about when students at home, they don't feel like hurt, that the students don't feel like they matters, but in class everything is different. We can change how they feel in class. We can make the students feel like they matter. I mean, everyone and need to feel that their opinion matters, and they take in account, and they know that that person is here, and they need to feel love, they need to feel encouragement, they need to feel that they are important part in the process of teaching. So about providing the dynamic classes is important, because we can create a role for the students. and maybe at home the teachers don't care about it. The parents don't care about it. The parents just work all day, and they don't doesn't matter about the children. But in class, we can provide that we can like feel the lack of this role of the parents in class. We can give them the student a role like, you're in care to watch your students, your partners, if they are working, or maybe you can help them, because this situation don't define the academic situation of the students. Maybe one of the dynamics that we can include in our classes is give them the students a role in class, because everything that we face these cases in our class, we think that this student is a troublemaker, but we don't look further about the situation in class. So it's important, like you say, to think about the cause, to think about the situation, because that one moment in class don't define. We don't see what the students are facing at home. Maybe they are in a bad situation, or their parents face problems, and all those things the students see it, and like they define, and every time the manners that they face, and they how the teachers see the behavior in class. So it's important to provide dynamics and constant changing. It's challenging, change every time, and to create different activities, but it's worth for the students. So I don't know, Nailen, if you can help us about the next talk that we need to discuss, because I think that all of us talk about in common about a little bit of the case that we choose.
Yes, yes. We already developed like the class discussion, the group discussion, and it's time to conclude. So we can summarize like what we learned about the process of analyzing these case studies and implementing leadership styles, and how these leadership styles are important to adapt, like how adapting these leadership styles is important to solve educational management challenges. So maybe I could start by providing my ideas on this activity. Personally provided me with the opportunity to think about educational problems outside of the box. Like sometimes, as I heard Mayerlin saying about the case study of Sarai, sometimes when solving educational problems, it is important not to think only about school, but home, but neighborhood, to think about parents, to think about how students feel, like how students' life is, and how they are treated at home, how they feel at school. So it is important to consider like problems in a holistic way, to consider these challenges, like what kind of things influence these problems, and what kind of things are causing these problems, to identify which specific details we need to take care of, is what I actually learned about this case study activity. And considering the implementation of leadership styles, I think it is important to adapt them, because even when they are meant to solve a specific situation, for example, the democratic leadership style is centered on communication, it is important to adapt them even when solving communication issues. As was in my case, I even though my situation or my case study was related to a communication breakdown, I didn't think like it was necessary to only implement the democratic leadership style. I consider it significant to join this leadership with the transformational one because there are some needs or some specific details or aspects the democratic leadership style cannot address. So, when solving educational management challenges, it is important to consider that not only one leadership style can be effective, different ones can serve or be useful to solve the situation. So it is important to identify which ones or which characteristics can be applied to the situation, even when these strategies do not belong to a specific leadership style. So it is the task or the responsibilities from the manager, which could be the school director, to know how to creatively implement the strategies provided by leadership styles to solve specific educational management challenges. So that's my opinion. I don't think what Sarai think about the activity we develop.
Okay, different our different case, I was like connecting these leaderships and how it works together and can solve different problems in educational environments. So I think leadership style in education are essential because for us help to build and yeah, different skills even for us that would have like unique to a strong or leader way and develop the style in different situation while we grow professionally. So I would like to just highlight 3 points. First is that these different leadership helps to create a safe and secure school environment in which students respect their teacher and peers and also the assistant of teachers with classroom management, ensuring that teachers feel support as they create positive learning environment to their students. And last one, they develop effective solution that benefits everyone. It's not only for students, it's for schooling in community in general. So it's my conclusion about this activity that we realized. So I listened my partner Madeline about his point of view.
Well, like both of you say, um, leadership is important, and not only is about teachers, not only is about the director, the school, but involves all the personnel of the staff that are part of the school. So I think everyone have the ability to become a leader. That's because it's an important role that everyone should take. And it's important because this leads the success or the main goal that a school needs to reach, and it's important to set a clear vision, set a clear communication and stronger values, because if our organization doesn't have a vision, they can walk any path. So it's important to take a vision, and like Nyland say, we can use some different type of leadership, because if we use different approach in classes, why we can use and link leaderships in classes, because every every time we face different challenge and talking about educational environment. So I think applying leadership styles in a school or in any organization is important, and also encourage other people to do it, because it's important to that all the people that are involved in a school, in a situation or organizations, to perform in a better way to reach that organization goals, and to in order to improve and help education in Colombia to improve, because I think we have a long way to go. So we want to also heard about Daniela's conclusion.
Well, and the last one, and you mentioned a lot, but I agree with you guys in everything that you have mentioned. So I just want to say that leadership style is a key, fundamental key for leader. Uh, Thinking in leader not just like the manager or organization, but just it's more than them. Sometimes as teacher we are in charge of or a specific field, or sometimes in a group on any activity it's necessary to choose a leader, and sometimes we need to be the leader, that we know we don't are the director or the manager of an education or a school. So if you are a leader in any field, is leadership style is a key. It's a fundamental key to be an effective leader, to face effectively the different challenges of educational management. As you mentioned, guys, there is not just one effective leadership style. Like in teaching, we don't choose just one approach for an effective class. Sometimes we need to choose, we need to implement more one approach, even in a one class, to meet the student needs and to solve the different problems that sometimes we are facing in classroom. I think that we in this case is the same. Sometimes it will be necessary to implement more than one leadership style. Sometimes it will be necessary to adapt a leadership style to the characteristics or the situation that we are facing. So it's the leader's responsibility to decide which leadership style he will be choose and how it will be used to implement. So that is how that I want to mention about this activity.
Okay, so that was the analysis, the collaborative analysis that as a group we developed for this task video.